All right. So may peace and power and elevation be to you guys out there. This your girl Tiffany coming through live in effect. Um, so if you guys watching from the YouTube channel, please go ahead and support the channel. If you watch it from Facebook, go ahead and support the Facebook channel as well and share the video. So the today's topic is going to deal with the origins of the word more, and I'm supposed to be having a brother on here to explain the origin behind the word more, and hopefully I can get him on here. So that's what I'm waiting on at the moment. But until then, while I'm waiting on that, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the quote for today. So the quote for today is gonna come out this book right here in Yasasim, which is written by Baba Baruti himself. So the quote is, I don't want nothing from the white man. All I want to do is just give him hell all the days of my life. And this comes from Khalid Abdul Muhammad. So Baba Baruti wrote in his book, how can aliens safely stroll through our neighborhoods? How can they be so carefree? Walking in the presence of people they have done everything beyond the humane imagination to destroy. They can only be comfortable in amid those they dominate because they know the mental process they force on us is operative and effective. It is only because of the success of this military program against us that they know that even we will protect them from us. They know we would prefer to commit suicide against each other than remove those who are killing us because we have learned to see each other as the greater enemy. And these pale parasites take great pride in knowing how well they have turned us against ourselves and towards them. Their unaltered, arrogant invasion of our space tells us that. Yet we can see, yet we can still smell their fear. They reek of it. The Europeans' greatest trepidation is of those among us to whom they have nothing to offer and in whom they can create no needs or confidence. Those Africans they cannot control. Power is self-evident in the man or woman who helps liberate African minds, regardless of what others have offered. And it says, I am prepared for exigency. And that comes from the quote of today. So today's topic is supposed to be dealing with about, excuse me. Okay. So today's topic is supposed to be dealing about the origin of the word more. Okay, brother. And so we're gonna get into the origin of the word more and its roots and all that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the etymology that I have right here. This book is called the Dictionary of Word Origins. Right, it's dealing with the etymology of the word. And so let's look up the origin of the word more according to the etymology, and then we will hear from the brother pretty soon. So the word more, counting the capitalized form, English has three separate words more. The oldest, open land, come from a prehistoric Germanic moraz or morin, whose other modern descendants, such as German moor, means swamp, suggests the possibility of some connection with English moray, lake. More tie up a boat was probably borrowed from a Middle Low German marine, a relative of Dutch marine moor, and more inhabited of North Africa, comes ultimately from Greek moros, a word no doubt of North African origin, which from which the name of the modern state Mauritania is derived. English relatives includes Morello, the name of a dark-skinned cherry, which comes via Italian from Latin morlis or marlis, a derivative of what's it, Morris, Moor, and Morris dance. So that's the etymology of the word Moor. So as we can see, based on the etymology, that the word has been borrowed several times from various language. Now, there's supposed to be a deeper origin behind the word Moor that goes beyond the concept of skin color, um, or that goes beyond the concept of the tribes and things like that. So that's what we gotta look into. With that being said, let's okay while we waiting, let's talk about how the concept of the Moors came into play. Let's look it up. Okay. So let's look up who were the Moor and how the Moors came about. So what I want to do is I'm gonna play a video clip real fast, right? About who the Moor was. And then from there we can have a conversation. All right, so I'm gonna play a video clip from uh home team history, right? About the Moorish history, and then we'll talk from there. All right, hold on. All right, let's play this clip real fast. I don't think that was the video. Hold on, you guys. Um, okay, give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right, so let me go ahead and show y'all something real quick. All right, so It says the significance of the word Moris with its derivative moro and more and other terms used by medieval writers in Latin to describe the inhabitants of Muslim Spain. All right, so it said the significance of the word Moris with its derivative moro and more and of other terms used by medieval writers in Latin to describe the inhabitants of Muslim Spain. It says Latin chroniclers and other writers of the Middle Ages up to the year of 1250 AD use a variety of terms to describe the inhabitants of Al-Andalus. Many of these are taken from the Bible and have in themselves little references to the circumference of the period. Nevertheless, the study of the moment at which each term came into use of the meaning which it was intended to convey, and in the case of the frequently occurring term Morris, the successive meanings given to it can assist us to understand the stages by which the Muslim people of Spain, Al Adalis, came into being. For the first 40 years, from 711, we had an excellent contemporary source in the Chronicle in rhyme prose composed probably in 754 by a Christian living in close contact with the Muslims, presumably in Cordovia. Then there came 3 centuries of which the evidence is much less satisfactory owing to the lack of contemporary chronicles in their original form. For my present purpose, therefore, I base myself during these centuries of the Chronicle of Nahira, compiled between 1150 and 1160. It covers the whole period from the whole period from before the conquest. All right, so far we know that the word Moor has been also used to describe the Muslims who inhabited parts of Spain. So let's just look at something real fast. All right, let's look up something else. Give me a second. All right, so here I am. I'm back. Um, so real quick, look under this information according to this website. According to wikiwan.com, we look under the etymology. Maori people and Mauritania. All right. So during the classical period, the Romans interacted with and later conquered parts of Mauritania, a state that covered modern North Morocco, western Algeria, and the Spanish cities of Sutita and Melilla. The Berber tribes of the region were noted in the classes at Mori, which was subsequently rendered as Moor in English and in related variation in other European languages. Mari is recorded as the native name by Strabo in the early first century. This appellation was also adopted into Latin, whereas the Greek name for the tribe was Maurici. Ancient Greek. I can't even read that. The Moors were also mentioned by Tacitus as having revolt against the Roman Empire in 24 AD. Okay, so it says during the Latin Middle Age, Mari was used to refer to the Berber and Arabs in the coastal regions of northwest Africa. The 16th century scholar Leo Africanus identified the Moors as the native Berbers inhabitants of the former Roman Africa province. He described Moors as one of five main population groups on the continent alongside Egyptian, Abyssinian, Arabians, and Kafari. All right, so and then also it mentioned that modern meanings, right, in medieval Romance languages, variation of the Latin word for the Moors, for instance, Italian and Spanish, Moro, French, More, Portuguese, Moro, and Romanian Moor, developed different application and connotation. The term initially denoted a specific Berber people in the western Libya, but the name acquired more general meaning during the medieval period associated with Muslim, similar to association with was it Saracens during the context of the Crusades and the Reconquista. The term Moors included a derogatory suggestion of the infidels. Apart from these historic association and context, Moor and Moorish designated a specific ethnic group speaking Hazaina Arabic. Ooh, what is Hazaina Arabic? No. Okay, so let's look up what Hassania Arabic is real fast. So Hassania, also known as Hassania Kalim el Batan Hassani, is a variety of Maghreb Arabic spoken by Mauritanian Arab Berbers and the Shawawi. It was spoken by the Beni Hassani Bedouin tribes who extended their authority over the Mauritania and Morocco's southeastern and western Sahara between the 15th and 17th centuries. Hassania Arabic was the language spoken in the pre-modern region around Chiguti. And then it also says the language has now almost completely replaced the Amazighi languages that were originally spoken in this region. Although clearly a Western dialect, Hassania is relatively distant from the other Maghribi variants of Arabic. Its geographical location exposes it to influence from Zangaga, Berber, and Wolof. There are several dialects of Hassania which differ primarily phonetically. Today, Hassania is spoken in Algeria, Libya, Morocco, Mauritania, Mali, Niger, Senegal, and Western Sahara. Okay, so I didn't know that that was a dialect of Arabic. I didn't even know it. Now, yeah, if you guys know that in various parts of Africa, they speak a different dialect of Arabic. Just like it's like when you speak a different dialect of English here in America, right? You got the broken English, which is the pidgin. You have the patois. You have standard English, and you also got the Queen Victorian English, which is much different from standard English. So yeah, so they speak a dialect, a Arabic dialect in Northwest Africa. Um, that's interesting. So let's go back to the origin of the word Moor real fast. Okay. So it says the authoritative dictionary of the Spanish language does not list any derogatory meaning of the word moro, a term generally referring to people of the Caribbean origins in particular or Muslim in general. And it says some authors have pointed out that in modern colloquial Spanish, use of the term Moro is derogatory for Moroccans in particular and Muslims in general. So the word Moor is considered as being derogatory to those who are Moroccans and also those who are Muslims. But see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that those words was considered as derogatory. Let's go ahead. Let's look down where it says in the Philippines, a former Spanish colony, many modern Filipinos call the large local Muslim minority concentrated in Mindanao, yeah, Mindanao and other southern islands, Moros. The word is a catch-all term, as Moro may come from the several distinctive ethno-linguistic groups, such as the Moreno people. And who was the Moreno people? Okay, the Moreno people is the term used by Philippine government to refer to the southern indigenous people who are the people of the lake, a predominantly Muslim Lano. All right. The term was introduced by Spanish colonizer and has since been appropriated by the Filipino Muslim as an endonym. Right, it's a common external for a geographical place, a group of people, individual person. All right, it says with many self-identifying as members of the Ben Bansamoro Moro Nation. Moreno can mean dark skin in Spain, Portugal, Brazil, and the Philippines. Also in Spanish, Morapio is a humorous name for wine, especially that which has not been baptized or mixed with water. Pure, unadulterated wine among Spanish speakers, Moro came to have a broader meaning. Applied to both. Okay. All right then. Okay, are you there, Geechee? Geechee, are you there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm right here. My bad.
Okay then. Okay then. All right, yeah, I was just looking up the definition and just reading over, what sources is using how they define the word more and like the origin and things like that. So what is
Yeah,
it that
yeah, yeah. I would say too. I was listening to you too. You was going in. I would say a lot. And two, if you notice, I know you doing research as we go too. And if you notice, every definition you said was a definition of that time period and what it meant in that time period.
mm-hmm.
It wasn't. It don't never give you the the origins or the source. Even the etymology book, it didn't give you the full etymology of the word. They gave you the English version.
Right, right, right. And yeah, because what we know is that more can be used as as a definition for somebody who's dark skinned, a dark skin complexion, or somebody that's from North Africa, that's part of the Berber tribe, or even someone that is considered to be Muslim.
Yeah, that's correct. But that's now. But the dark skin component, that's a recent term and definition and play on words from the colonial period from the Spanish and Portuguese. If we go back to the Greek, just say go back to the Greek. That's what everybody say that more is the Greek is the source of the word more, and that's not even true. Uh, Even if you go back to Strabo, let's look what Strabo say. In time, Sister Tiffany, time to time, I'm getting used to this screen sharing thing. Could
Oh,
you
okay. Oh, okay.
show something? I don't need nothing now, but in the future, show if I need you to show something, could you show your screen and I'll tell you where to look for it at?
Okay, then. Okay, you
Okay.
said look up. Okay, I'm looking up Strabo now.
No. Look up the word. Let me see. Just look up the word more on Wiki real quick and go to the name.
Go to what name?
Matter of fact, I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you the exactly what I want you to show. I'm gonna send it to your inbox on Messenger real quick
Okay, then.
because I got all my sources already screenshot what I want to show.
Okay, then. Let me see something.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. Hold on. Okay. All right, this is it right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it says oh, it says name Omari by Strabo. Yeah. Who wrote in the first century as the native name, which was also adopted into Latin, while he cited the Greek name for the same people as Moroshi. The name Omari as a tribal confederation or generic ethnic designator, thus seeming to roughly correspond to the people known as the Numidians. In earlier ethnography, both terms presumably group early Berber.
That's the Numidians.
Oh,
they existed the same time period as the Numidians did. The Numidians were Berbers too, but they were a little bit more influenced by Phoenicians and Greeks. So the time Strabo was there, Numidians and whoever these people that they call them Maori were indigenous, and that was their term for it. And plus, you had to look in time too. Who else was there? By the time the Greeks came, Phoenicians were already there. Phoenicians was already in North Africa since 800 BC.
mm-hmm.
So by the time the Greeks came, Phoenicians culturally were or Punics. They call them Punics in North Africa, but they still Phoenicians. But by then they were indigenous people. They were infused with the Berbers and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So the term Moor, is coming from these people. You know,
Okay, it came from Strabo, right?
yeah, it came from Strabo is how we get the modern term. But even here it's a it's a which was adopted. No, which hold on, it's a where it said it. It's not the source I'm looking for. It's another source I got where it say it's right here. And I'm gonna send you another link. This
Okay.
this, this, this is my other source right here.
Okay, then. Okay,
I
hold
got
on.
another source on Strabo. This ain't in this one, but it's another one where Strabo say it's an indigenous term.
You say it's an indigenous term.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't see the other link that you're trying
I
to.
just sent it to you.
Okay, hold on.
And
Okay. So it
this is gonna give you the actual meaning.
okay, you talking about the one where it says Mauritania existed as a tribal kingdom.
Yeah, and
Okay.
also bear in mind this is ancient Mauritania. This is not modern Mauritania. You can even say it's spelled different. Modern Mauritania is spelled Mauritan N and this is
Mm-hmm.
Mare.
Mm-hmm.
This Mauritania, it's the same concept, but this location, Mauritania, was where modern Morocco is today. The area where they call Morocco today. It was further up north.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. So what about where it says recording Mari as the native name of a people opposite of the Iberian Peninsula?
Now I'm looking right here where it say Mauritania existed as a tribal kingdom
Right.
in the Berber Moor people,
Right.
as Waginti Palosov. He's a German he's a German linguist.
Mm-hmm.
Records the Phoenicians who explored North African coast from around 900 BC called the country at the extreme western edge of their known world Morarim, meaning western lands.
Right.
This is the true meaning of the word Moor. It means western. And I'm gonna get into the comparative linguistics of that too, because uh the term that rendition that you see here, that's just the Phoenician variation of it. The term Mari or Maru, that means Western in the spread of a lot of different Semitic languages. Even the term even the term in the Middle East, when you say the Syrian term Amaru, that means Western. Amorite, that means Western. Even in their own land, the Phoenicians were the Amorites. So of course, if they come to Africa and they have destinations, terms they have for destinations, the people when they landed in the area of Carthage, the people to the left of them, or I mean, the people to the west of them they're gonna be called the Westerns or the Amaru or the Amorite, some variation of that term in that Semitic language. Even if you look in the Hebrew or the Aramaic, the
Mm-hmm.
term marab,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? That means Western. Even in
Oh,
Amharic, the Ethiopian Semitic language, Maribi, you know what I'm saying? That means Western.
okay.
And then here,
Okay.
if you go down on the source, it say in earlier first century, Strabo recorded Mari as the native name of the people opposite in Iberian Peninsula. That's what you just read. This
Right. Yes.
application, this application name for the tribe of the Marusi. The Mori would later been bequeath their name to the Moors on the Mediterranean coast of North Africa from at least 3rd century BC. The Mediterranean coast of Mauritania has commercial harbors. Yeah, they're all ain't even the port. This is the beginning port.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm. So basically, what you're trying to get at is that we don't really like the definition has changed over the period of time of what the word more really means.
Yeah, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you something else too. This is a
Okay.
source from Fellini telling who these Mari people are, who these people are who are west of the Numidians. Even the Numidians, that's a general term. It is no such thing as Numidians. That's just a Greek term for those people. Numidians it actually were two different tribes. The Malisi, who's in the Mycenae. You had the eastern and the western Numidian. Some that was interlinked with more with the Phoenicians, and the other was that was more linked with the Romans of that time period.
Okay. Let me see some. All right, you talking about Polinius
Yeah.
wrote that the area north of the river Senegal was populated during the Augustus time by the Faroshi and Perosi.
Mm-hmm.
Berbers moved south to Mauritania beginning in the 3rd century, followed by
Yeah.
Arabs in the 8th century, subjugated and assimilated
They,
Mauritania's original inhabitants.
they talking about where modern Mauritania is. Those people, the original Mari, they moved more further south.
Okay. And it says Islamization took place only gradually, much later than in the Sahel over the course of the 12th to the 17th centuries by the expansion of the Beni Hassan. From the 15th century, there was also limited European trading activity, mostly in Gum Arabic.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it goes down here, it says the tensions between the tribal Berber groups, which had established themselves before the arrival of Islam, and the Arabized and Muslim Beni Hassan came to a head in the Shar Bruba War of 1644 to 1674. The resulting victory of the Beni Hassan sealed the face of Mauritania as an Arabized Muslim territory, the last part of Africa to be acquired into the Muslim world before the Muslim expansion was checked by the European scramble for Africa in the 19th century.
Yeah. I just sent you something else too to show some other sources to show that Maori Maori was a indigenous indigenous African Phoenician term. You know, because it became indigenous because shoot, by the time the Greeks came to North Africa later on, you know what I'm saying, around Greeks first started coming around North Africa around around 500 BC. You know what I'm saying? People were already indigenous by then. But even like we talking about Strabo, you know, Strabo became even later. He came in the first century. That's when, you know what I'm
Mm,
saying, they really, you know, and that's when they really started exploring, you know what I'm saying, really going into, you know what I'm saying, other areas of North Africa. Greeks were the first Greeks that came around 500 BC. They were around like the area of Cyrenia, which where
mm-hmm.
Tripoli is today.
Tripoli.
Yeah, that's a North
Mm,
African country.
Tripoli.
Or
I don't
two.
think I ever heard it. I ain't never heard that country before. I ain't never heard of Tripoli. What is it by?
It's let me see.
Like what country is close to it that
I think Libya. I think it's in Libya. It used to be a bigger land and like on its own, but it's a city.
oh,
Yeah,
it's a
it's
city.
in Libya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I just sent
Okay.
you. Yeah, so right here, see, right here say during the classical periods, Romans interacted with and later conquered parts of Mauritania, a state that covered modern northern Morocco. What I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Western to Algeria, and that's where the Numidians was living at, and
Mm-hmm.
also they were living in Libya. Spanish
Mm-hmm.
cities, Ceuta and Melilla. The Berber tribes in the region were noted in the classics as Maori, which were subsequently rendered as Moors in English. See, that's later on, and in related variations in other European languages.
Mm-hmm.
Maori is recorded as the native name by Strabo in the early first century. This application was also adapted into Latin, whereas Greek name for the tribe was Marusi. The Moors
Mm-hmm.
were also mentioned by Tatius as having revolted against the Roman Empire in 24 AD.
Mm-hmm.
So here, this explaining that it's an indigenous term. That's what Strabo got it from. And then too, people say, "Oh, like I heard you read earlier, where it said the Greek term is Morvinio. That's modern Greek. That's not classical Greek. Strabo, you know what I'm saying, they spoke classical Greek. Greek took an evolution, you know what I'm saying, through the medieval times. Greek Greek was influenced by Rome, Christian Romans.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to understand in these people literature, these Christians, they philosophy in Christianity in that time was duality, dualistic. You know what I'm saying? Duality is the belief of having good and evil. Good is light, evil is dark. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you infidel and you not Christian, you darkness. That's why even all through the medieval times, you could see passages and even like artwork where they're regarding evil as anything that's anti-Christian. Even Islam was considered the devil. In
Mm-hmm.
certain Bibles, certain literature you can read about Islam. Even Islam is considered the Antichrist
Mm-hmm.
in the medieval period. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you reading medieval literature and you reading about the Moors, they're gonna be written off as black, not necessarily a skin color, but as a symbolic meaning.
Mm-hmm.
It don't have to do with no skin. Even if you look at those blackamoor, what they call quote unquote blackamoor, they ain't nothing but art. You know what I'm saying? Artwork anyway. But some all of them are not African, like African heads. You can see some of them that swarthy skin.
Right. Well, you know what? Speaking of that, let's look up the Blackamoors. So for those who may not know what we're talking about. So let's go ahead and look at what Blackamoors are. Show it to the audience. Because some people may not know who the Blackamoor was.
And I got some sources on the Greek too to show you the evolution of the Greek language and how it changed. Because the original term for dark skin in Greek is melachronos. It's not Morvinio. It's not it doesn't mean scorched. You know what I'm saying? It means scorched later on in the medieval period because of the dualistic meaning of darkness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes Strabo was talking about them people that didn't mean no dark skinned people. And I'm gonna give you the source. Matter of fact, after you do that, I'm gonna give the source of where this
Mm-hmm.
comes from, where the people even thinking that mean dark skin, and it come from a mistranslation. And we're gonna get into that too.
Okay, then. So let's look up Blackamoor. Now, Blackamoor is a European art style from the early modern period, depicting highly stylized figures, usually African males, but sometimes other non-European people in a subservient or exoticized form. Blackamoors is often found in sculpture, jewelry, furniture, and decorative art. Now, in the Iberian Peninsula, historically, this word does not exist. The Castellanian word for the Moor was Moro, Portuguese Moro, and for a black Negro.
Yeah,
Uh,
they call it heraldry.
mm-hmm,
Symbolically in Europe, like during nights and time and shit, like I
mm-hmm,
was talking about that dualistic writing in their literature. Like in the literature when they talk about Beowulf fighting the monsters and people fighting monsters and shit and all different stuff like that. You seen the movie 300, you know what I'm saying? How the people look, you know what I'm saying? They was being, you know what I'm saying,
I don't
being
remember that movie.
exaggerated, you know what I'm saying? That's what I like. Oh, I'm a wear this Moor head because it represents my bravery and you know what I'm saying, killing you know what I'm saying, the enemy, or just like the same thing of them having a dragon head or lion head because it represented strength. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers had to deal with the Muslims during that time period.
Okay, then. Hey, Geechee, where you at? Geechee, just give me a minute. I'll be right back. But just go ahead, continue on, and talk to people.
Okay. Oh, yeah, let me show you some different sources. Yeah, because it's a lot of people. Yeah, this been on my chest for a long time. I've been researching this topic for a very long time, and I be you know what I'm saying, I just be seeing people, you know what I'm saying, get the word wrong all the time. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is Noble Drew Ali. He even said the term moral or marine means Western. You know what I'm saying? Even more scientific people is getting that wrong today. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I disagree on Noble Drew Ali about I'd say about 80%. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that he teaches because it's outdated. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Of that time period, but he was right. You know what I'm saying? For us, the meaning of the term Moor, it means a Westerner. It doesn't mean having had nothing to do with no skin color. He was on to something with that one. Yeah, I'm gonna get into it when the sister get back. I'm gonna get into the origins of why we think it has something to do with skin color. And that, you know what I'm saying, had come, you know, had came through in more modern times in the play on words. And I'm gonna get into the actual meanings of what Romans and Greeks use for the terms of darkness or black. You really can't even say blackness. Blackness don't even come into existence to English. That's an English word. We're gonna get into because black is just a definition for darkness. We're gonna get into the definitions of darkness from different cultures, from Roman, Greek, and what they, you know what I'm saying, what their representation was and how it evolved. That's why even if you look now, if you look up the definition of the term black in Greek, you're gonna have a whole lot of different definitions that have been borrowed from different people. That's why you get your Mourinho's. Mourinho's is really Latin. Greeks borrowed that from Latin in modern and medieval time. It's like in research, you got to be careful how these people write too. You know, so I study anthropology, and anthropology, like especially cultural anthropology, you really got to put yourself in these people's mind, the way they thought at that time period. You gotta get yourself out of the modern mind, like the modern mind, and you can see how these people think and their philosophies at that time. Everything might not seem what it is from the surface. You know what I'm saying? What you just saying, somebody saying these people were black, don't mean is that necessarily that's their skin color. It's a symbolic meaning, a term. I don't know how many people took British literature or any other type of literature classes in different languages. You know what I'm saying? I done that through high school. You people, you know what I'm saying, even English, you know what I'm saying, back in back in the Middle Ages, English, if you read English now, you ain't gonna be able to understand it. It's gonna be whole different syntax, whole different context of things and shit mean. Like even in black, what we call black today, the color, the actual, because I was an art major at one time too. I switched my major to anthropology, but I started off as an art major, and I studied art history. If you study the color, actual color black, like what you see, like, you know what I'm saying, that's you know what I'm saying, that's actually the darkest shade of gray. You know what I'm saying, like Greeks and Romans of the time period, any other shade that was darker was considered, you know what I'm saying, their color of darkness. That's why they had two terms, you know what I'm saying, like a term for a little dark and a term for extremely dark. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get
Okay.
into that two definitions.
Okay, my bad. Sorry about that. I had to take care of something. I'm back. Okay, so now where I was reading off at, uh okay, yeah, I start where it says Portuguese, Negro, Perito, but there has never been an Iberian word merging the two meanings. This is because the terms simply refer to Muslim regardless of ethnicity. The same can be said of the French cognate Moray. The term blackamoor is now viewed by some as racist and culturally insensitive. Blackamoor is still widely produced in Italy, mainly Venice within the United States as the biggest importer in the world. Geechee, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I was just going in when you was gone, just going over some of the topics I'm gonna be going over and discussing this evening. Or even if we have to do a second show, we could do a second show. But it's a lot of information.
okay, okay. So, what was it that you wanted to share, real quick with us? You
Let me
wanted to
see.
share something.
Let me see. I don't know if I sent it to you already. Hold on.
Okay, let's see if you sent it.
It's probably the same thing. Hold on. Oh yeah, I said, and I also said I was gonna get into the source of why we think it means black.
Okay. Okay.
Hold on, let me see. Let me show you. Let me give you. Hold on. Hold on. Give me one minute. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay, then cool. Okay, so while the brother had stepped away, so later on this evening, I'm going to be doing. Hopefully, if things go well, I'm gonna have some Moorish brothers on here. This time we're gonna be talking about the whole concept of nationality and status correction, and so and the UCC codes. So yeah, I'm going to have my point of view about this, and they're going to speak how nationality is supposed to give people sovereignty status and how they're supposed to how they supposed to go about using UCC codes and things of that nature. So, hopefully we can get them on here later on. If that goes well, I'm looking to do it around this evening, my Easter time, which probably around 10 or 10:30. So we'll just see how that goes. All right. Um, but so far, I hope you guys enjoyed what Brother Geechee is doing. I'm sorry about the delay. Uh, trying to get everything together, getting everything tied up within our busy schedule. You know what I mean? So, this is something that the brother wanted to talk about. Really wanted to get into this. So to actually break down the whole meaning of how the word more is used and how it has been used over the period of time based on cultures, based on religion, based on the languages, and different things of that nature. So basically, it's not one definitive term of the word more. It's broken down in different sections. It can mean black. It can mean the Muslims. It can mean those inhabitant of Spain. Those that's inhabited the area of Mauritania, the western part of the world. So it can mean a lot of things. It really can. Brother Gishi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I was explaining that later on, I'm supposed to be having some Moorish brothers on here that
Hmm.
they're gonna go into the topic about the nationality and sovereignty status, like how national. So the question I have is how nationality supposed to bring about sovereignty status or status correction. Yeah, and the whole UCC codes. So this kind of like getting off the subject a little bit. What's your thought on this whole nationality and sovereignty status when
I
it
think
comes
it's
out in?
I think it's a scam, man, and they don't understand what they mean. Like, man, let me show you, man. Hold on, let me show you.
And the UCC codes.
Yeah, man, they don't mean nothing. It don't got even nothing to do with no status or none of that type of stuff.
Okay, well, okay. Oh,
Oh, let me
what
show
is
you.
it that you want to show real quick?
Hold on, I got something to read off. Let me see. And these people really tripping because they gonna get, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They gonna
Mm-hmm.
get FBI involved and all that. They tripping. That's why Wesley Snipes for real. Why y'all think Wesley Snipes went to jail? Why y'all think he went
I
to jail
thought
for?
I thought it had something to do with him not paying taxes.
Yeah, and he was into that UCC and all that stuff because he thought he
Oh,
had to
I
pay
didn't even.
tax.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that. I thought that because there's some celebrities that go jail for not paying their taxes and
Nah,
things like that.
he was all into that.
Oh, now we know. Now we know.
Yeah, it don't even mean that. Like, here's a UCCI1 financing statement, abbreviation for Unification Commercial Code 1 is a legal form that a creditor files to give notice that it has or may have an interest in the personal property of a debtor. A person who owes a debt to the creditor is typically a uh, uh, passive, pacified, pacified in agreement creating the debt. This form is filed in order to perfect a creditor's security interest by giving public notice that there is a right to take possession of and sell certain assets for repayments of a specific debt with a certain priority,
Mm.
which notices all which notices a sale are often found in local newspapers. Once the form has been filed, the creditor established a relative priority with other creditors of the debtor. This process is also called perfecting the security interest. I mean, like, what? None of this stuff got nothing to do with no sovereignty. Like, just paying your damn nigga, pay what you owe, motherfuckers. Like, you gotta pay that money. You being cheap.
No, now see, this is what's so ironic to me. I hear some of them, not all of them, say that they own properties or have properties and they don't have to worry about paying taxes on them, or they paid for a cheaper price or something. And it's like, how'd you go about doing that?
I don't know. They probably got good credit. Sure, or they own one of them. They probably it's probably one of the people that own one of them. Own one of them temples. If you own a religion, you don't got to pay taxes. We all know that.
Maybe you're right.
You know
It
that.
could be. So what about the fact when they try to use their driver license, right? They try to replace their driver license with the
Man, that
I
don't
mean,
work.
we're trying.
That shit get locked up, man. It don't not work. What you talking about some sovereignty? Where your army at? Where your army at? Who you call on when you in trouble? Go get that damn fez knocked off your damn head, boy. You crazy.
Oh, oh boy. Yeah. Oh, that was a story about an individual right out in Gwinnett County. He was trying to claim a house that was over $500,000. It was a beautiful home. But it was already purchased by a couple. However, so the couple was getting ready to move into the home and they found out that he was already there and they ended up calling the police. And the police came and arrested him because he tried to claim that it was his house and he purchased the house, and which he didn't do it. So he was a squatter the whole time.
Wow. Wow. That's
Yeah, but
crazy.
I'm waiting for these brothers to explain to me how the sovereignty status is supposed to work, how the nationality thing is supposed to work. So I just want to know because I need to hear from them.
Yeah, it's crazy. They go by that. What's that straw man fallacy and all that. I don't know what all that crazy stuff is, man.
Well, we'll just be on the lookout for that. I mean, if I be able to have that program. So I'm having both of them on there, hopefully. And let's just see how it turns out. Let's see what they come up with.
All right.
Okay, then.
I don't get it, man. Like, how you gonna be a country in somebody else's country, man? You crazy? What kind of
Well, you know what? If you tune in, make sure you write down your question, or mentally write down your
yeah.
question, so that way you won't forget. If you want to ask them some questions,
All
hopefully,
right, all
you know
right.
what I'm saying. All right, okay. But other than that, Geechee, sorry for the delay, everybody, and I hope you guys was able to learn and pick up the information from the brother. That was some powerful information that he was breaking down. And hopefully we can do the part two
Oh
because you
yeah,
got
yeah.
some.
Because the part two, I want to get into the source and origins of why we even think it means black, and that's gonna be deep too. We're gonna get into the that book I told you about, Isidore of Seville, the book of etymologies.
Mhm.
We're gonna get
And
into that.
Have you read that book by what was his name? Anthony Browder. I think he wrote a book about the Moors in Spain or something, or invaded Spain. What was the
Oh
name of the
yeah,
book that what was the name of the book that Anthony Browder wrote?
yeah. I never read his book on Moor on the Moors or the
Hold on, let
Muslims,
me.
or the what they really call them, the Saracens. They call them they call Muslims the Saracens. That's what they really call them at that time period. They wouldn't. How you gonna be calling Moor to Muslim in general wasn't called Mori until or Moor in general until Muslim actually came to the Maghreb.
Hold on, I'm trying to find that book because he has a book about the Moors, or it's either him or somebody else. Oh my goodness.
Even the term Maghreb, that's that's an Arabic term for Moor, a Mori, Western. It's another variation, the Arabic variation,
You
Maghreb.
talking about Maghrib, like like the prayer Maghrib?
No. The location in northwest Africa. They call it that Maghreb.
Oh, okay.
That means Western or more or Marrakesh. You know what I'm saying? They also mean more the land the land where the home it's called the home of they call it the home of God. You know what I'm saying? They ain't say actual God. You know what I'm saying? That's a German term, but you know what I'm saying? The home of the sun. 'Cause that's where the sun sets. The sun sets in the west.
Okay. Oh, it's called When the Moors Ruled Spain. I think that's what it was called. I think that's the name of the book. I don't think he wrote it, somebody else wrote it. Yeah. I never read it, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Doing that program, doing that part two, what I'm saying? We just gonna have to set up a day, that we
Okay.
can be able to have more time to get into more details about that. And
Okay.
you know,
Yeah. And
but
then
I
we can even have like people, you know what I'm saying, come on, ask questions or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Even some of the people from our own team, you know what I'm saying, if they got any questions.
Okay, yeah. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming. I apologize that I, kind of got you off your busy schedule. I know you tied up and you gotta take care of business and stuff. So I apologize about that.
No
Um,
problem.
yeah. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, take it easy on yourself and be safe out there. And we'll
All right.
reconnect.
All right.
All
Peace.
right. All right then. Peace. All right, you guys. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. For those of you that's watching, it was a pretty tight schedule because we got a lot going on. So, yeah. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope you guys be safe out there. Be careful. Also, stay educated, stay motivated, and if you're gonna tune in later on tonight, I'm gonna be talking with some brothers about this whole nationality, sovereignty status thing, this UCC code stuff. And with that being said, we'll go from there. All right. So tune in, and if you're watching from my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching from Facebook, make sure you also share this Facebook video. With that being the case, until next time, and if you like what I'm doing and you want to support what I'm doing or whatnot, if you want to send a cash app, you can go ahead and send my cash app right there, $Tip World. Thank you very much. Other than that, you guys take it easy. May peace and power elevation be to all of you, and we'll talk later. All right, deuces.